Start it. Okay, so ladies. So first thing I want to do is I want to go over the homework questions that we have. But this is going to be a combination. This class is a combination of the 3.8, 3.10 that we've been doing. So if you have the packet out, that's what I'm going to be checking off at some point today. And in addition to that, we're going to start section 4.1. So I'm going to give you a packet on that in a moment. So what I'm going to do is, again, this is section, let me get my pen going here. Section 3.8, we're going to finish that today, and 3.10, and then we're going to add to that 4.1, which is going to be a packet that I'm going to give you in a minute. So first thing I want to do is I want to go to the homework and any questions that you have. First page, we did most of it, right?
I didn't get number two. We didn't do number two together. Yeah. Like the second graph thing.
There's a lot of things that we didn't do together because I wanted you to do them on your own, but which?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't do the finding the G. Oh, that's just what we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right. We can go ahead and take a look at the find f of -2. But when you're looking in the window, what is the value that you're looking at? What are you seeing? What does that -2 represent?
The X.
The x value, right? And you had a question, Dan?
Oh, F. On the third page.
Okay, let me do that. Let me just do this one real quick. All right. So what you're gonna do? So Kitty, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to 2 on the graph, and you're gonna go to find out what the function's value is at 2. So here's 2 on the graph. What is the value of the function at 2? It's like 1 or 1.5, and so whatever you want to put it. What did you guys put in there for f of -2? Kat? We did. Did we not do f of c?
We didn't do C.
What's that?
We didn't do part C.
You didn't do part C on the first graph?
No.
Second graph.
The second graph.
Understood. But we did part C on the first graph.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess what I was thinking is that I would do C on one graph, and you would use the same thing I did on the other one, right? My intention wasn't to do the whole. I don't know. Were you guys expecting me to do the whole sheet for you, kind of thing, or?
I just kind of forgot how you did.
Yeah.
Okay,
the C
so
on the first one.
so the function is asking. All right, Jacob, can you put that computer away? The function's asking, what is the value of the function when x is -2? All right, can you guys now, do you know what to do? Kat? Do you know what to do now?
Well, because there's the infinity thing on that.
Yeah, that one has that.
That's why it messed me up.
Guys, this is domain and range. That's the infinity thing, but, okay, do you know what it, okay, first of all, do you see this axis here? Okay, I'm not sure how much we don't know, but this axis, does everyone know that this is the x-axis?
Yeah.
Yes.
That we
So the values of x are along the x-axis. So if the question is asking, what is g of, this is the function g. The function g is this line, right?
Yeah.
And it's saying, what is the value of the function? What is the value at the line when the x value is the number what? Okay, sorry about that. -2. When it's -2. So what does that mean? No one knows what that means. Landon? You go to -2 and you make a dot.
Right.
And then you follow it to where it is on the line, right? Where does -2 meet the function? At what value for y? Kat. At what value for y does at 8? Okay. So the answer to that one is what?
8.
The answer is 8. Not one. Can you do the next one? I never know what makes this thing erase. Okay, so the first one is going to be, okay, go ahead, Money. You had a question? Okay, you good now? Yeah. Just trying to get rid of the one. So can you tell me what G of 1 is? Cat? It's 3. All right, so you got it now?
Yeah.
All right, and Nate, can you give me G of 5?
-4.
Yeah, it's -4. I was just say the class go like 3.5, 4, whatever. Yeah, I think it's like I'll say -4. And then the other one was G of 7.
It's also -4.
It's also -4. Okay, so we're good on those now. So the difference, what's weird about this is that we've been spending all this time plugging in values into actual functions, but this is telling us that the graph is also a function, but it's more of an approximation, I think, too. But because just like what Nate said, like this one here is like, is it 4? Is it -4? Is it -1? 3.5? With a graph, it's hard to know exactly because it's not perfect. Okay, other questions on that first page. So I need you to know, as damning and horrifying as it is that there will be at some point there's going to be a quiz on this and some other stuff, and this tends to be one of those things. This is new material, the function notation, so it tends to sink in a little bit more shallow at first for you guys because it's the first time you've seen it. So just make sure you don't let me go ahead unless you understand it. All right, just like these two, they push to make sure I explain that, and so make sure you know the same thing. Yes, before I leave this page. Yes.
It's sort of off topic, but it's about math. Can I ask one?
Okay.
Are our quizzes graded?
Yeah, they are. So anyway.
Can we see them whenever you have a free
We have there's someone in here. There's someone that hasn't taken one here, and
if we
so at some point, yes, you're going to see it today.
On my essay or in class?
You will see your quiz in class at some point today, but I think it's going to likely be more toward the end.
No worries.
I'm sorry. Okay, any questions on what went on in the bottom here too? Now, how many people have? Can you guys show me your? Does anyone think they have the bonus question?
I think I might.
You think you might? Because I'm going to go over the bonus question, but I want to make sure if you have it. Do you have it? The bonus question was F, number 2F. Number 2F. Let me just make sure it's.
Mr. Shy. Mr. Shy.
It's should be 3x.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I have this homework from that.
No, I just want to see this. Do you have this one?
Not that one.
Okay. Show me. No. All right. Who else? Did anyone else? I'll let me do that now. I want to do one thing at a time. I'll get confused. Shoot. No, I don't think so. Let me see. Wait. Give me a sec. So the 9 plus 5. That's right. I think it's right. Okay, that's right.
I think we got.
Yep. And no. Yeah, good man. All right, and no. Okay, good. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else try F?
I did, but I would do it.
Oh, not
I meant friend.
close.
What did you guys?
All right. Okay, so I've got. So before I do it, let me just write down the. So Theon.
Oh, I did it.
What have I been doing for the last 3 minutes?
No, but
I've done
I
it.
didn't want to tell you I did it because my answer's probably wrong.
Okay, that's
But I
fine.
did
Then I won't bother.
No, I was
So
right. My answer's
Melissa,
correct.
you okay? What's up, Theon?
Wait, do I get credit if I try? Because I didn't try.
Wait, can I get credit because I did it, Mr. Shine?
I did it too.
I didn't.
No, it has. It needs to be correct.
Okay, can you check my answer and see if it's right then?
Or
I'll bring it to you.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up once, and I'm gonna do what I said last time. I'm gonna check to see if you did number 2F. I'm gonna stand up, and if you did number 2F, I want you to show it to me. Okay? So watch. I'm gonna stand up, and if you have number 2F, raise your hand and call me over. Claire, I'll be right there. Let me see how you're doing. Okay, that is close. You didn't finish it. That's all.
But can I get half bonus?
No, I don't give half
Am I the
bonuses.
closest that you've seen?
Okay. So I can't give a half bonus. No such a.
Whoever gets the answer closest, can you give it to?
Okay. No, three of them got the right answer. It wasn't so bad. Let me just show it. Let's just do it. It says f of h of x, which is saying, so we're going to go we go inside f of x. See f of x up here?
Yeah.
So we're going to go inside f of x, and everywhere we see an x in f of x, what are we going to put?
You're going to plug it in.
You're going to put in what? You're going to put in h of x, which is this. So basically the idea is that I'm going to take this. Claire did do that, but she just didn't quite finish it. And you're going to put it into there. So this is going to be 3 times x squared plus 2x plus 3 plus 5.
And you just distribute.
And then you distribute the 3 and collect like terms 3x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus 5, which is 14. And that's it.
Oh, I did that. I just put a 6x squared on.
You just didn't distribute it. Okay, not a big deal. It's just one big point. Probably the difference between an A and a B. Okay, just kidding. Any other questions?
That's not a funny joke.
Nah, it isn't for you guys. Okay.
That's bullying.
Any?
It's not recording. Oh my gosh, I forgot. As Lewis is like, stop screaming. You're telling me that we got the whole stand up. What?
Just wanted to make sure it was very clear. Because clearly I wasn't very clear the first time I said it.
Oh my god.
I stopped speaking in English so people could understand. Anyway, any other questions on number 2 before I move on?
No, we're G.
You're good.
Yeah.
Don't abbreviate words like
Okay, let's move to that. Let's move to the next. Before we go on, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and fill in the rest of these answers. All right. So, Malene, let's take.
It's the same. I don't think it's wrong.
Okay. Well, that's the answer. Did you have -4, -4 on those?
But I'm talking about number 2. What is it?
Are you one? Okay. Let's go through. Let's go ahead and do the answers for number 2, A through F.
I thought we already did that.
We did not go through all the answers, and I think she's got a good point. Let's make sure that we're in agreement. F of -1 should be 2. Is that right?
Yeah, 2. And then 18.
B is h of 3 should be 9 plus 6 plus 3.
36. 18. Wait, B.
9 plus 6 plus 3. I think is it 18?
Yeah. He's 18. 9 plus 9 is...
It's 9 plus 6 plus 3.
6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 9 is...
Okay,
That would basically be 9 plus 9.
just it's the background of the discussions going on very quietly. I understand, but it's really disruptive. Can we guys stop talking for a moment so I can get these answers done? What do you guys have for B? 18 is what I think is correct. And then C, F of 0 is should be 5.
Yeah, I got 5.
And F of H of 1. H of 1 should be 6. Right? And F of 6 should be 18 plus 5 or 23. Is that right? And then And then the last one for E says, well, it says f of, we did it already? Okay, so f of 1 is 8, and then you did that one.
64 plus 16 plus 30 is 83.
Is 83. So, okay. Marlene, are we good with that now?
It was like just one was wrong. You said everything is wrong.
No, I thought you had G of 5 and G of 7. Did you have -4 twice?
Yes, she has.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at G of
You have -4 twice too.
no. It's like one language. I didn't see that you had -4 twice here. Did you have -4 twice? Those are the ones I thought you had wrong. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm talking to myself.
Okay, yeah, you're good. Those are correct. All right. Anything else on this? So I didn't have an answer key, so I just want to get the answers to you. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Okay, were there any questions on these were there any questions on these?
Can you do that? Because I can't really.
I will do them, but I need everyone in the class to just kind of not be disruptive. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm back online here. Got the thing working. So let's do the domain. The domain on this one is a little tricky because what some people don't see is that we have this this line is actually going to continue forever. All right, because of the arrow. So that means let's do the domain. The domain is all the values in the x region, right?
Yeah.
From left to right.
To infinity, so it's all.
So we're gonna have we put the x in the middle. We put the x in the middle. We have our two less than signs, right? What's gonna go on the left?
Less than or equal to.
-3.
Oh yeah.
And what goes on the right is how far away, Julia, how far does that graph go on the right? To infinity. So over here we're going to write, our infinity symbol, and that's going to represent our domain. Next is, and what's going to be the range? One thing that some of you are forgetting about the range is that the range is not x values, it's what values? Y values. So we're going to have a y here, and then you have your two less than signs. Okay? And then you have your two less than signs. Now the question is, what is the lowest value of y? Now, some people were picking this one. It's kind of a trick the way they wrote this. A lot of you are going to be tempted to pick -2, but the lowest value is actually on the right-hand side. It's going down, 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 down. How far down does this graph actually go?
Infinity.
Yeah, so this one actually is a -infinity. And again, we don't use equal to -infinity because infinity is not a number, okay? And what is the high value for the y? What's the upward value for y?
3.
It's going to be the +3. And is it going to equal to or less than? I mean, is it going to be just less than or less than and equal to?
Always it's equal.
I had a really good dream last night.
Okay, Kitty. Less than or equal to?
It's less than or equal. No,
All
I'm
right.
joking. No, I'm not. I'm serious.
Okay.
It's equal to.
I mean, I don't have to go. Is everyone okay with this? I can just skip it.
I got this.
I just there's like so much disinterest.
I want to go over it.
All right, let's go to the next one. The next one, once you realized how tricky the first one was, this one is a little bit easier to figure out. What's going on with this graph? What's that?
Yeah.
First one is the function.
Yes.
Yes.
First one is, the second one is not. Very cool.
And the second one's why is that one not a
No,
function?
it's a function.
Oh no, because
The
I'm
third
stupid
one's
and
not a
I was looking
function,
at the
so
third one.
So this one is a function. This one is not a function. Again, one of the things what we were talking about is can the clown be in two places at one time? In this case, the clown has plenty of opportunities to be at two places at one time. It's not a function if that's the case. Okay. The other thing they call is the vertical line test. If anywhere you can put a vertical line and it goes through 2 points, it's not a function. All right. So use the vertical line test or look at the shadow of my pen, anywhere I put this pen, it only intersects the function at one point. Is that what you're trying to show her? Right. They call it vertical line test. And so that's on a graph, that's what we're looking for. Okay? So
But wouldn't that one eventually circle around?
it depends on what you think that the graph is going to do. And this one here, we can presume, I think most people just presume it goes down here and continues forever. But it is a good question. Landon is saying, is there a possibility that, because we don't know what this graph is really doing, we just see this arrow, is it possible it could go all the way around? That's a good point. I like your thinking. But in this case, I'm going to presume not. So that way, which way? I don't know. That's because it's more complicated if I presume that. It looks like it's parabolic. I guess that's my point. But no, it's not. It's not parabolic. So yes. So the domain, the x values. I get the domain. Let me get my two less than signs. What is the smallest values that are that of x that are on this graph? Negative infinity. Do you see that? Wait, who said -4?
Oh, I said 4.
Okay. Remember, there's a line, and that line means it's continuing forever. And then where does it stop in the x direction? So it goes to negative infinity in the left direction. To the right, how far does it go? Just to +3. And then we're also going to do what? We're going to put a equal sign underneath.
Where's the 3 again?
On the right side.
Why is it equal?
Remember,
Oh, I just counted wrong. Sorry.
okay, so this is the range is, the range is left and right. The domain is left and right. The range is up and down. So how does the range work?
How
Y?
do you know if it's equal to or like normal?
Does it include, the question is, does it also include 3? And because it's a filled in dot, we would say it also means equal to 3. Thank you. Keep asking questions, guys, all right? So that means I know you're alive. So anyway, so it's what are the values? Start with the low value in the y direction.
I've got
What's its lowest value? What?
That's not right. Never mind.
-1.
What is it?
I got -3, but that's not right.
I have negative infinity.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, because it's going down.
I got negative infinity on the right.
And what's its high value?
Oh, -1.
Okay. Domain and range.
Oh, I wrote that. I just said it wrong.
I did the other one.
Marlene, did you get this one?
Oh, no.
Okay, so do you remember domain? What is domain? Is not at all. 2 days we spent on it. You have no idea what.
Domain
it
and
is.
range. What are you talking?
Do you take notes or anything? I do, and they're actually posted most of the time.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay,
No, I'm really.
I feel bad. She has no idea what domain and range is. We did that
Domain
bad.
is your x value and
And
range
range
is
is
your
your
y
y value.
Nice. I don't understand the word domain.
What's that?
Domain is the x value and range is the y.
The domain. That's the domain. There's this thing we did. We did this thing called. I don't know if you remember. It was day ago, Desmos, and we talked about. All right, so Marlene, you should think of coming to help session because we should go over that. You're going to need to know domain and range, okay? So just consider that. Anyway, look up here, guys. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we did. Believe it or not, we actually spent, and there's also, Marlene, there's stuff in the book that's on the book in these chapters on domain and range. So I just want to make sure she's.
I don't think Tommy wants to hear you.
Okay, so the x values
-4, -1.
from here to here is
-4.
Did you just talk to your Russian language? Never mind. He's not Russian.
And then would y be -?
okay. So, Kitty. So if you guys, I don't know if this helps at all. I mean, one of the things that we talked, when we did this thing called Desmos. The idea is what are the values of the x values of this function, this relation. The x values go from here to here, which is -4 to -1. Okay, so, and how do we express that? We go x less than, we go the small value and the larger value. So -4 to -1. Does it include -4 and -1?
No. Oh wait, yeah, it does.
Looks like it to me.
It does.
And then what are the range? The range are the set of y values that cover this point.
-1, -1.
Yeah, I would start with the smallest number first.
So -4,
-4. It's the same. It's the same values, but we just have a y value there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the range and domain. Let's go to the next. Okay, next. Okay, so the next page. Were there any? There were several that you did not have to do. And I didn't have you do these ones, this ones. So let's. Any questions on these? Can you guys have this? Can you have your homework open? Can you have the homework open to this page, please? All right. So you weren't able to get anything?
Oh, I did all. I did all of them. I just
Okay.
want to have the solution.
All right.
Yes, can you give us like solution?
Yeah, like that's all I asked for, so I know if it's right.
Yeah.
For this one,
Sorry.
I didn't know, like, wait, no, this one, I didn't know what to do, like, if I had to divide by 2.
You're gonna actually gonna multiply by 2.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. So it should be like 42 or something, right? All right.
And these.
What
Mr.
happened?
Shah,
All right. Yeah.
This is missing 2 from me when I did it.
I have the. Look at the notes for these two, right? Are you all right? You sick again?
Yeah, I've been sick for a while. I'm just tired. Sorry.
This is from you, Marcus absent, remember?
Yeah, but do this after class because I can't do it right now. Got it. I'll get it. And all right. Or take a picture and send it an email or whatever. But just give me a minute. Okay. All right.
Alright. Alright.
Can you show us how you did number 28?
Of course. You mean number G? Letter G?
Yeah.
With my intellectual powers, of course.
How did you do that?
I got 28.
Okay.
See,
All
that's
right.
28 too. See, I'm an intellectual.
Okay. Guys, listen, for some of these, you just, like, Kitty, can you just tell me how you did it, just to make me feel better about why you only have an answer? So can you do this?
I fell asleep when I was doing it, and then my mom helped me.
It's mental math.
Okay.
No, but you just plug in the H value, and you put the 5 in for the 5.
So which the okay?
She's looking at B.
I'm looking at G. Okay, so explain it again.
You put the 5 in
For what?
for the H1.
Correct.
Yeah. And then after you do that.
And what did you get for that?
25 minus 1 is 24.
Okay.
And
It's-
then G, so you go to the G one, and then you go 25 plus
Good.
4.
Excellent.
24 plus 4.
So you can do it in your head. I just want to make sure you guys know what you're doing in your head, and that you're not just you don't want to be just writing it down. Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, I would never cheat.
Okay.
I'm for the honor.
Let's look at
That's
let's look
why I cry every time a teacher yells
Okay.
at me.
let's look at f of 3. Marlene, can you help me with this one? V of f of 3.
Me too.
Minus 3.
Yeah.
So how did you get it? Can you do it with me? So we start with f of 3, right?
Yeah, I plugged in. The
So go up. We're gonna go up here. So
I
it's
did minus 5 minus 2 times 3.
it's -1, right?
Yeah, and then I plugged the -1 into the.
Correct.
Yeah, and then I solved it.
Excellent. So you got 4 plus 1.
No, minus
Negative 4 plus 1.
Negative 4 plus 1
And you get negative
for negative 3. Excellent. Okay. So this is, and I think the domain and range thing were you able to explain that to her? It's very simple. I think if you'll remember it if you see it again. But anyway, let's see if we can make sure that before you leave that you feel better about that, okay?
Wait,
All right.
was
Otherwise,
that
I think it's language, it's all. Okay?
Was that one too?
You have great
F
language,
was
but you have better
42.
accent. You have a great accent.
So I
Okay,
just-
next one.
He said, what's
Okay, in groups, try to recall what these words are. You guys, Tommy and Ziggy, take a moment, just pause this, and if you remember any of these terms, go ahead and write them down, and then unpause. I would imagine that some of these may be very English for you. But anyway, if you want to give a moment and work together on this, that'd be great. So, so when I say the total number of factors of the variable, yeah, you're right. In a sense, you're adding the number of exponents. The reason I use those words is because those words are our definition through understanding, where adding variables is just a little rule, all right? Without, it's kind of disembodied. Degree of a monomial, degree of a variable. Oh, they already had that. Degree of a variable in a monomial. I guess that's, I think I jumped the gun. That's really what I want. Degree of the monomial would be the total number of factors of the variables, all right? If it's just one variable, though, it kind of makes sense that it's just the exponent of the variable. Similar or like monomials?
Monomials where their thing is on their coefficient is the only thing that's different.
Good, nicely said, all right? She said monomials where only the coefficient may be different, right? So similar would be something like, similar would be, or like terms would be 2x and 3x. Or 4x squared y and 3x squared y. Those are examples of like terms. What's nice about like terms? What can we do with them? Add them. Fractions can be like too, like 2/3 and 5/3. If you have 2/3 and 5/3, if the denominator is the same, they're like, in a sense, they're like fractions. They can be readily added. All right. So anything that's like in this world is subject to addition or subtraction, right? Not just like terms, but like fractions. Simplified polynomial is poly means more than one. It means many. And then it says many nomials, right? Many numbers. So anytime we have two or more monomials together, how do we know that they're more than one monomial, right? Let's how many monomials is in this number here? Just
3.
I got some. Yeah, okay. Terms, or I should say, anytime we have a monomial, monomials are monomials always have a plus or a minus sign in front of them, unless they're a leading term, in which case we don't put the plus sign. But we know what a term is. Any term that's in a polynomial is shown by the fact that it's got a plus sign in front, plus or a minus sign in front. I know that weird. And then the degree of a polynomial. What would be the degree of the polynomial? 3x squared y to the third plus 5x to the seventh minus, plus 5. What would be the degree of this polynomial? The degree of the polynomial comes from the number that has the highest degree.
So 5. So 7.
It would be 7 in this case. So the degree of this polynomial would be 7.
Where'd you find the 7? Oh, I see. Never mind.
So you take the one that has, you take the monomial that has the most number of variable factors. This one was close. It has 4. but this one had 7, so it would be 7th degree polynomial. Okay, ready? Let's go to next page. Now, next page, it gives you a more, the kinds of definitions that are easy to forget. They're the math book definition. We're almost done. Now, what I wanted to do is just do a lead problem for you. There's a chance if you guys cooperate that I can get you out a little bit early, but what I want to do is I want to do the A's, and then you guys can do the B's and the C's. What we're going to do is all we're going to do is simplify, and if you feel that you can just move right through the sheet right now, like you, just do it. All right. For the rest of us, what I'll do is I'll walk us through, and we'll do it one at a time, and then just so you feel good about what's going on. Then I'll let you on the loose. So let's do A together. A, it says simplify. This is a series of terms. The only way we're going to simplify is if we can find terms that are like terms. Does anyone see any?
The 4s.
Yes.
Yeah, the x to the 4th.
Yeah. And 8. Yeah.
And what was the other one?
And the 3s.
To the 3. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. So it was
And typically we like to put these in the order of the order of degrees. So let's put them together first, though.
Can you cancel them out or no?
Which two?
Like x, it will be x to the 4th and x to the 4th. Yeah. You just cancel.
Okay, that's -1 x to the 4th and a -8 x to the 4th for a total of -9 x to the 4th.
And plus 6.
Oh,
Okay.
All right, and then we have a minus
And plus 6.
plus 6 x to the 3rd,
Yeah. And plus x to 6.
and then we have x to the 6th.
Yeah.
Should that go in the front? If we're going to go in degrees, they would like us to write the answer. I'll put it over here. Plus x to the 6th. All right, so I just did that, I guess.
So
Now-
degree is like the. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, decreasing degree is going to be the bigger exponent first, followed by the smaller ones. Is that?
Yeah, you just basically put it
And what's the degree of this one? It's going to be.
x to the 6th.
It's yeah. So we just take the exponent. It's going to be 6 degree 6. Can you guys do B and C, and I'll do them slowly up here. So if you get stuck, watch what I'm doing and see if you can unstuck yourself. Ooh, not too many alike.
Right? Or just 1 degree? Like just 6?
That's the highest degree.
Okay, so I think I've got the second answer.
It's not 7, it's 6.
No, it's 7. 6 plus 1 is 7. Because your x has like an imaginary one on it. Yeah, it's bigger.
Right? You add all the factors of all the variables,
Oh.
Yeah.
not just the biggest one.
Isn't it?
X squared, y squared.
Depends on these numbers. Yes, 6 from 3. And the biggest one. Depends on the upper.
Well, this one's hard to get in order, right? Oh, they say decreasing order of x.
So then was it just 6?
So the first one will be what? x to the biggest exponent of x is x to the fourth, right? So it should be 2x to the fourth y plus 5x to the third y to the third and plus x squared y squared minus 6x y to the fourth, and the degree is 5. All right, how are we doing?
We go to the next page.
You're already there. Let's it says add and subtract. The key with that, adding is not so bad, but subtracting means that we need to make the second term, we need to make the second expression, this one, you want to take the opposite. So subtract means that we're going to do this. Negative 3x squared, that stays the same. Let me do the add one first. Minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 9 plus 2x to the third minus 4x squared minus 5. So when we add them, we don't do anything. We just add them up. But if I'm subtracting the second one, I need to make everything on the inside negative. So that's going to be minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 9, and then now it's going to be minus 2x to the third plus 4x squared plus 5. Does everyone see how I made the signs for subtracting? I made the signs opposite. You see that? All right, and that subtracts it.
Or could you do 2x to the third minus 4x squared minus 5 minus 3 and then put that one on the bottom? Like the second one?
No, you need to make this one minus. Because this is it says add them first and then subtract the second from the first. So because we're subtracting the second, this is the one that has to be made minus.
But what if you don't
Are you
make
saying
it
that
minus?
What's
what
that?
if you don't change any of the signs and you just do like...
I know what you're saying. I just feel that in general, it's better to get the idea of always adding. So when we're think of subtraction as adding a negative, and in the long run, I think we're more likely to do well there.
Okay.
Jacob, are you going to make it? I'll give you a quiz in a minute. Did you do this one yet?
Which number, A or B?
Did you get A?
Yeah.
So it's this one's going to be what? 2x to the third
Mm-hmm.
minus 7x squared?
Minus, 7x squared.
Minus 4x plus 4.
4 plus 4. I'm like looking at it up here. Plus, 4 plus 4.
And then the second one is minus 2x to the third.
X to the third, plus x squared,
Yep. Minus 4x.
minus 4x plus 14.
Excellent. Are we good with that?
Wait, negative 3... Oh, sorry, you're right.
Anyone stuck on that one? I have to give you a quiz in a second here too, so.
I got the same thing, I just did it differently. But your
Okay.
way's easier, so I'll just do it.
Tell me when we can go to the next page.
Yeah, we're good.
You guys are being very good. Thank you so much. Next. Ooh. These are the same. Guys, these are the same thing. Just make sure that you're careful about the... Come on, you. Why isn't this shrinking? Okay, these are the same thing. Let's just make sure that when we're doing the subtraction part, that we're doing it right. So I'll do the subtract. I'll set up the subtraction one for 2 because I know you can do the addition one. But can you just help me with number 2? Subtraction is going to be 3x squared plus 4x minus 5, and then what? Minus
4 plus 9 minus 7.
Excellent. All right, and then you just add the terms that way. Okay? And then I think we're going to be okay. Let me just look at the last page. Last page is just one bigger one. So these are not so bad. This is an equation. But can we do the first step together so that we don't make an error? A whole bunch of things are going to, a whole ton of this stuff is going to cancel, just so you know. But it's going to be ax to the third minus 3x squared plus 2bx minus 2. And then what happens?
And then you do minus, you distribute the minus sign to the
Minus 2x to the third.
plus cx squared plus 5x plus 4d equals whatever.
Okay, equals all that stuff. And just so you know, I think we're going to have a whole bunch of things that are going to cancel. So
So how do we solve for all of the values?
you can't solve for all the values. That's why it says find the values of A, B, C, and D that make the equation true.
Isn't that solving zone?
Oh my God, really? It says extension, so let's treat it that way. That means
Let's just not do it.
that means that was a hard question for the accelerated students, and it's doable, but it's really complicated. I think you have to just kind of
Let's
guess.
just get the quizzes back.
Anyway, okay.
I want to see my quiz. I
Tatum,
probably
why don't you go ahead and take off on us, and that way I can give them this, and you don't have to worry about seeing anything, all right?
Can I take off too? I don't want to see it. I probably
Okay.
fail.
All right, go ahead. Okay, that's the end of it for you, Tommy, and Ziggy. I hope this works, and for anyone else that decided to use these for the notes. Take care and good luck.